Hello, beautiful people. As I promised, this is part one of the videos that I promised that I'll keep on posting. I said I want to bring the content that was on my previous YouTube channel here. And I do know that there will be people that would come across this content for the upteenth time and they may be tired of it. Can I please ask if you are tired of this kind of content? Can you please pass Mdasekaya? Because I do know that it's hard to listen to the same thing over and over again. So I would please plead with you that if you are tired, just pass. I feel and understand that these things tends to get boring over a period of time. In the same breath, I would like to tell you why I do not get tired of telling this story. I don't tell it all the time, but when I tell it, I wanna tell it and I wanna tell it to the full. The reason is because I realize that these things happen more and more. So more awareness is needed, unfortunately. We may not believe so, but there is awareness that is needed so that people should not relax. Incest is one of the things that are engulfing our world. And still, people still think it's a white thing. It's a certain race thing. It's a certain people thing. It can happen to anyone. Before it happened to my home, I also thought it's an American thing. Ask me why I thought so, because I used to watch the Oprah Winfrey show. At the time, she was the only person that was interviewing people from all walks of life, and these people were sharing such stories. So, though such stories I only heard at the time from her show. So I thought, she's in America. These things happen in America. American people are sick. That's what I thought. So I never, not even once, thought it can happen into my home. Why? Because the kind of person that I was married to, that guy was a gentleman. He was a gentleman. Like, I can't say he was perfect. I can't say he was perfect because he is human after all. But he had no issues that are so big that I can talk about. I think in that marriage, if there is anybody that was more wrong or doing more wrong things in that marriage, was myself more than him. Guys, I am not perfect by no means, by not even by a stretch of the mind. I do know that my mistake in that marriage, or my biggest mistake in that marriage, which is something that he used to call me out on, was I battled with silent treatment. Yes, I didn't know better at the time the damages that silent treatment does to the relationship. I didn't know, but I was guilty of that. And my reason for choosing silent treatment is because we were such a peaceful family. We were both Jehovah's Witnesses. And as Jehovah's Witnesses, we were taught that violence is not a solution to our problems. We need to talk about problems. But I was married to a person that was not keen on talking of his emotions. So if there was any discussion of emotions, it had to be me, or else we would have to pretend everything is fine. And because I wanted to show him that everything is not fine, then I would choose silent treatment. It does not make the silent treatment that I gave him right. But I hated the fact that when I asked him to say, let's talk about this issue. And he would be like, no, like, there's nothing to talk about. It's fine. It's fine. Everything was fine. It was fine. And because I knew that that is not fine, I was not fine with it, then I would resort to silent treatment. And it would happen. Man, the silent treatment would happen, would take days, would take weeks, and until such time I get tired, then I go back to him and then we start the conversation. And because he's also tired of the silent treatment, and you get tired sometimes, and during all the time he is always pretending everything is fine. By so saying, I mean, when he gets into the house, he does everything that he does. He would kiss me, even when we're not talking, even when I gave him silent treatment. So actually, do you see how much of a devil I was? Yeah, because that is devilish behavior, it's evil behavior, but that is the thing that I can own up to. I do own up to that. That was my fault. That was my contribution to the fall of that marriage. And he would also say, you don't know if you knew what happens when you're busy giving me silent treatment. If you knew, you would not do that. But believe me, the next time we have an argument again, I will be back on silent treatment again. I never knew that whatever he was talking about involved my daughter paying for my silent treatment. Yeah. So life went on. By the way, guys, that guy was clean. That guy was very spiritual. That guy was, this is a guy that knows that he has to lead his family into prayer all the time, into Bible discussions all the time. We used to have, as Jehovah's Witnesses, we used to have a booklet called the daily text. We used to take the daily text almost every day. He was working on shifts, of course, and when he was working on shifts, it would not be certain shifts. It would not be possible, of course, but he did everything that was possible in his capacity to lead his family spiritually. Spiritually, he did all that. I don't know to this day whether that was to create a safe space for him to do everything that he wants, while you think like maybe he was covering his bases. I don't know, because he did almost everything right. Just like any other human, he would do some mistakes there and there that I cannot even count right now. But this man was the man that knows his family needs to be taken care of, financially, spiritually, and otherwise. Yeah. So that is why I want to share this, because these things happen in the families that we least expect. To this day, I don't know whether it was just the silent treatment that I gave him, or it is the fetish that he had. He is a or not. I don't know up until today. Is my child the only child he did that to? Or there are more children out there that he has done this to? I would never know. We are now getting into the gist of things. As you have seen, the name of this channel is Freedom at 44. There is a reason why I called that, which is what I'm gonna call this series, Freedom at 44. How did I leave the Jehovah's Witness congregation? Yes, I am an ex Jehovah's Witness, XJW. Now, this is what happened. Now, the year is 2004. The child is 3 years. We are 5 years into our marriage. The marriage is beautiful. Everything is fine. We've got minor problems that are not enough to write home about. Fine. So it's one winter morning. It's June 2004. Husband is at work and I'm left with our daughter. Daughter was sick last night. She's 3, by the way. Talkative toddler, energetic, full of life, all that. Last night she was sick. Very hot. She had a fever. We could not sleep. The agreement now in the morning of that day was, Daddy will have to take her to crash. Daddy will take her to crash so that I can go to work because I was new at work. And he was at home, but he was gonna leave at 1. So I was gonna at least at work arrange to knock off earlier so that I can come and take over from him. Fine. That happens. Go to work, come back home, find that Daddy did not take the child to the doctor as we had agreed earlier. Daddy says the reason why he did not take the child is because when he woke up in the morning and the child woke up in the morning, he realized that she's not that bad. She didn't look like a child that did not sleep last night. So I look at the child also, I don't see that. She looks like now she's full of life again. She's not as sick as she was at night. Fine, I'm taking over from him. He leaves me, he goes to work. And the child is fine throughout the day up until 8 p.m. Now I'm preparing the child for us to sleep. And then the child, just as we get into the bed, the child explodes a bomb in my presence. She says in Sesotho, because we were speaking Sesotho, by the way, Mama, what's Papa ongotetse ka mo? She is pointing between her thighs. And I am like shocked. And I think the shock that I gave the child was too much, to a point where when I wanted her to repeat what she had said, because I think my denial of such a thing ever being able to happen in my home set me straight into panic mode, shock mode, to a point where now I may have even screamed or like, I don't know, because her response from then was, no, Mama, Papa hangisanix. I said, please go. I tried now, remembering that maybe my reaction has scared her now. Let me try. And she was like, nope. I can get next. Mama can get next. Papa can get next. Now I try and open the child, try to see what happens there. And I see a white discharge. But I was used to seeing that white discharge. It was not the first time that I'm seeing it anyway. Now I'm trying for us to sleep. Guys, when you have the first child, this is one of the things that I'm trying, because I wish somebody had given me this information when I was a new mother of a girl child. A child should not have any discharge. Just know that. So this is one of the things that I feel like more new mothers should know about this, because it's things that like those that no one tell you about, that you don't discuss about enough. that we let slip. And because if I come to think of that, then if a child should not have any discharge, and I've seen a discharge on my child from when she was a baby, guys, from when she was a baby in napkins. So you understand? I don't even want to go there. Fine. This is the day that I will remember her telling me that, because this is the day that she started telling me that, because she could now communicate, she could explain, she could talk. She was a walkie-talkie, by the way. Fine. I decide on taking the child to the hospital. But how? Here's another thing. Because we are Jehovah's Witnesses, we only have Jehovah's Witness friends. Here's another thing. We were not allowed to have other friends who are not Jehovah's Witnesses. We're not encouraged. Let me not use the word not allow as if it's a crime if you don't. But if you are discouraged long enough about something, you end up just doing that. And don't forget, I am a 4th generation Jehovah's Witness. So by that I mean my great-great-grandparents on my mother's side were Jehovah's Witnesses. My great-grandparents were Jehovah's Witnesses. My grandparents were Jehovah's Witnesses. And my parents were Jehovah's Witnesses. And ours as well. On my father's side, I was a 3rd generation Jehovah's Witness. Do you understand that I lived this life from birth, where you are discouraged to have any relationship with anybody else who is not a Jehovah's Witness? So when something like that happens, you don't even think about going to next door and say, "Ask next door, please help us. Can you please give me a lift too?" By this time, we do have neighbors. The neighbor is a doctor, by the way. This is the information that I'm sharing for the first time. My neighbor was a doctor, their wife, and the husband was a pharmacist. These were our neighbors. So by this time, we were like, and then we left. Sharp. I thought the best way for me to contain this, because I am in denial mode that my husband cannot do this. My husband could not have done that. Therefore, I thought ambulance. It was the best thing. There were Jehovah's Witness friends that I could have called that were nearby, but there was a sense of I need to contain this until I am sure. I will spread it only when I am sure, when it's been confirmed by the doctor. That's what kept me from telling anyone. Then take the child to the doctor, and not to the doctor, to the hospital. The hospital is called Midval Hospital. Is in 3 Rivers. It is June 2004. Next video, I will explain what transpired when we get to the hospital.